Hi, we're the Stage Seeking Sisters. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Stacy.
And today with us we have Al with Build 412.
Thank you for being with us, Al.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
So we used to work together and he started his own business. He was telling us a little bit how it's the best thing that he's ever done. And we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your inspiration and kind of what got you started.
All right, it's good to know it. Growing up, I was kind of just raised and brought into real estate property. My whole entire family, when they came over here from overseas, they all worked and they all saved money and they all bought property. From my great grandfathers to my great uncles, all of them. They started buying properties and it just snowballed to my aunts, to my uncles, my cousins, my parents, and that's how I grew up. My whole family, close-knit, grew up in Oakland, and I would say my family owns probably 300 units in Oakland alone. That was like the hub.
That's great.
Yeah, my house I was born and grew up in, actually, my dad still owns it. It's student housing in Oakland, so that worked out. But yeah, I grew up, like I said, that's, helping my dad at his rentals, helping my mom, parents at their properties, and that was it. And then I got away from that as I started getting older and, chasing women, making money. I kind of started doing my own thing. I worked at a car lot, did really well. And then I wanted an office job because I hated the hours. And that's where I met Jackie. I got a job at Reliance. Once I started there, I came out of the gates with a bang. I had instant success. And then about a year into it, it just fizzled. I just knew office life wasn't for me. I wasn't made to do that. And then at the time, it was terrible for my mom, but the best thing that ever happened to me, she was getting, she had a flip in Lawrenceville and a contractor was taking advantage of her, took a lot of money off her, didn't finish the job, was giving her the runaround. I remember I was like, I'm quitting. I'm just going to quit. I'm going to get my dad out of retirement. We're going to go finish this for my mom, and we did. And that was it. That's how I started.
What a gift.
Yeah,
what
it was
a
awesome.
gift. Yeah. So you were like heart inspired.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice, honestly. My
Yeah.
mom ran out of money. She was close to running out of money. And again, I just felt bad and I felt like I owed it to her.
Yeah.
Such a good son.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
truly.
I'm her favorite.
So do you see in growing up in today, do you see a difference in work ethic or what do you think? Yeah.
I do. The phones ruin a lot, even, growing up, there was no phones.
Yeah.
It was like going outside as a kid to just stay busy, stay active. My parents weren't distracted. They were working. It was working and raising children.
Right.
My dad worked his ass off. My mom worked her ass off. They both worked very hard. My dad can barely speak English, can barely read and write English. So he didn't have a choice except to work really hard. And I got to see that as a young kid. And, I'm not the most hardworking person. I have some lazy, ask my wife at home, I don't do much. I have some lazy bones in my body, but as far as, one of the best lessons I've learned in this business, in anything, you just have to work hard. Hard work will pay off. You have to be consistent. Because if you're not, it's like, you ever see that picture of the two guys digging a tunnel?
Yeah.
And one guy's really close and he quits and then the other guy keeps going. That's the way
difference.
It is.
I tell my kids all the time, winning and losing, the winners just keep going.
That's it.
Yeah.
They don't
That's
give
all it
up.
is.
That's true.
That's it.
Very true.
Yeah. Oh, so how about advice when because you're going to hit those walls, you're going to want to give up, and the challenges, what would you say to young people especially to keep going, because there is kind of this crisis in resiliency now, and we know people are really stuck with coping.
That's a good question. That's honestly tough to answer.
Yeah.
I was in a position where I didn't have a safety net.
You didn't have a choice almost.
I just had to, I was telling Jackie earlier, I had to keep on working because if I took a mental day off or just have one of those days where you have a big lunch and you feel like crap out, you just go home. I don't make any money on those days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sink or swim.
Sink or swim. I just had to keep on going and going and going, and then, I was 7, 8, 9 months to 1 year go by, and then you're like, wow, 12 months ago, I thought I would be half where I am now. And then, you know, when you get a taste of some success, and then you think about, what did I do? And then it's like, okay, well, I woke up every day and I went to work and I made sure that I worked hard and I didn't slack. And again, you get a little taste of that, and you keep going, you know. And then I try and instill it in others, you know. Like we're in, you know, my younger brother's barbershop. There's a building I bought.
It's beautiful, my guy.
Thank you.
Super cool.
You know, the younger generation doesn't have that boost or that kick on the butt. Like, you know, it's, kids are brought up with, you know, I don't want to say my dad, you know, he was strict on us growing up, you know. We got spankings and beatings, and that instilled some type of, you know, fear in me, you know, but also respect. And again, like, you know, it taught me a lot of lessons.
Authority, a sense of authority,
yeah, it did.
and accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody, at the end of the day, you know, no one's there for you. Like, people are there for you, but you have to just focus and worry about yourself and set yourself up and keep working. And again, once you get to a point where you can help others, it's good. You know, you get there.
Give back,
Exactly.
contribute. Yeah.
And for you to take that initial step, I feel like that's kind of the hardest part for some people. And obviously you had a why, you had your mom that needed your help, but was there anything else that kind of pushed you to start that?
It was going to work in the office, and, you know, the office and whatever you call that, you know, corporate life was a really, really big eye opener for me. Because I kept on telling myself, like, I can't do this forever. I knew after like 3 months, I'm like, I can't do this. But I was, you know, I had some referrals and I was making money, so I was just going through the motions. It was the first time in my whole entire life where I didn't have to work on weekends. So I put up with some stuff, you know. The work environment was good, but it just, my mentality was not made to be sitting at a desk.
So it was more just about trusting yourself and taking that leap of faith. Really.
I've always been, like, growing up, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
I've always been, I guess, an entrepreneur. I've been a hustler. Like, I grew up hustling. I used to make money, whatever, you name it, I bought it and sold it, motorcycles, anything, shoes, stuff that I shouldn't be doing. Like, I just figured out how to make money.
We all have a past.
I just figured out how to make money my whole entire life. You know, and like, once I hit my first strata of, like, I worked hard, I got a house to where I cleaned it up, I remodeled it, and then I took it to the bank to refinance it. And once I realized that, and that was tax-free money, that was it for me. It was just, this is what I'm doing forever.
I mean, you had the skill. You had the skills innate in you, but you also, like, I feel like things get to be unbearable, and it's like, you know what, I can't do it, and like, it's like, and the like impetus to, like, follow your dream. You're like, oh, I have to, like, it's like the air you breathe almost, right? But not everybody listens to that.
No.
Right.
So,
well, a lot of people are afraid to take. To make the change, you know, I don't know what would have happened. Exactly. If my mom wasn't in that position, I don't know where it would have happened, where I would have been. It just, you know, at the time I was, like, you know, engaged. I was ready to get married. I knew I wanted to have kids. I knew
provide security.
Exactly. You know, like, growing up, my parents were always, like, busy during our sports events, and I'll never forget the feeling I got of my parents working when I was at a football game, and, like, everyone's parents were there except mine. And I'm not saying my parents did anything wrong. They were working, providing for us. But I never want my kids to have to go through that or experience that. So again, I just, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is what I'm doing. That way, when my kids are at the age that they're playing sports, I'm there for every event they have. I don't have to ask anybody for time off. I don't have to, you know, come and go. Like, it just, whenever I want, I work for myself. And again, it's it all comes just down to that. You know, that's priceless to me.
And you don't compromise your core values.
No, not at all.
Well, I was just telling Jackie this morning, I heard this quote, and it's perfect. It says, don't live in the fear of your thoughts, but follow the dreams of your heart.
I love that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes.
So follow the dreams of your heart. Any other advice that you have for our viewers at all? Any words of wisdom you want to share?
You got to work hard. You got to take risks. I've been a risk taker my whole life. Again, it's, you know, as you get smarter, you're more wise about what risk to take. But you got to work hard, because if you work hard, you're going to be 10 steps ahead of everybody else. You might have to take a risk here or there. No, I won't even say risk. But you might have to take. You might have to make a decision where, you know, you're gambling on your future. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're just going to stay in the same position as you are if you fail. You got to take chances. You got to work hard. Think outside the box. Don't follow the crowd. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable and what feels right. Because at the end of the day, again, it's your heart, it's your brain, your decisions you have to live with.
Yes.
So do whatever you think is right.
Yes.
Love it.
I love that.
Yes.
Get unprogrammed.
Yeah.
Leap of faith.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
This was great. Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Take care.
Bye.